Namaste Vidya, Khushal. Today we'll be discussing about biomechanics of cervical spine. We'll be discussing all the individual segments separately in coming sessions. This is part of your biomechanics and kinesiology, which is important for BPT 4th semester, DPT 4th semester, and DPT plus DPT 4th semester. So let us start with biomechanics of cervical spine. The cervical spine is composed of seven cervical vertebrae, C1 to C7. It is made up of two anatomically and functionally distinct segments. The first is superior segment, or we can say sub-occipital segment, which consists of C1, that is atlas, and C2 axis. And these two are connected to each other and occipit with complex chain of joints, having 3 axes and 3 degrees of freedom. The inferior segment stretches from inferior surface of axis to superior surface of T1. Then we have, if we say the curve of cervical region is lordotic, that means it is concave forwards. We have atlanto-axial joint complex here, which is a plain synovial joint. The central joint is also known as atlanto-odontoid joints. Then we have 2 lateral joints and atlanto-axial joints. Now, this atlanto-odontoid joint is a synovial trochoid or a kind of pivot joint. The movements that occur at atlanto-axial and atlanto-odontoid joints are flexion, where there is point of contact between 2 convex surfaces moving forward. The extension movement occurs, and there is interspace, and the interspace of atlanto-odontoid joint opens inferiorly. Then is left to right rotation, this one, rotation. The left lateral mass of the atlas moves forward, and right lateral mass recedes in rotation from left to right and vice versa. Then we have movements at lower cervical vertebral column, that is extension, where the overlying vertebral body tilts and slides posteriorly. The intervertebral space is compressed posteriorly and opened wide anteriorly. The nucleus pulposus is driven slightly anteriorly, and the anterior fibers of annulus fibrosus are stretched. Then the other movement is flexion, this one. Upper vertebral body tilts and slides anteriorly. The intervertebral space is compressed and the nucleus pulposus is driven posteriorly. Here the posterior fibers of annulus fibrosus are stretched. Now if we consider lateral flexion and rotation in this way, lateral flexion and rotation, it does not occur as pure motions. They are governed by orientation of articular facets, and this rotation is always coupled with lateral flexion. Then we come to the stability of cervical region. The cervical region bears less weight and is more mobile. And because of this mobility, degeneration process occurs much more rapidly and in a great percentage as compared to your thoracic and sacral regions. Now we have the muscles, rectus capitis major, rectus capitis minor. We have longer cervices, which helps in straightening the cervical column and holding it rigid. We have scalene, anterior, posterior, medius. We have suprahead and infrahead muscles. that help in supporting the cervical column at rest. Then extension of head and neck is brought by the muscles of posterior neck. They are splenius cervicis, semispinalis cervicis, levator scapulae, transverse spinalis, longissimus capitis, splenius capitis, trapezius. And when these contract unilaterally, they produce extension, rotation, and lateral flexion on the same side. We have ligaments over here. They are anterior atlanto-axial ligament, posterior atlanto-axial ligament, tectorial membrane. We have ligamentum nuchae. We have alar ligaments. Now, if we come to the biomechanics of cervical injury, the commonest one is whiplash injury, which is due to the hit from behind, causing first extension of the neck followed by forced flexion of the neck. There is extension, then forced flexion. So there is hyperextension at C5, C6, and mild flexion at C0 and C4. Then we have facet joint syndrome. The facet joint is a type of synovial joint, and a disc is present between the two joints. So during facet locking, the synovial membrane and disc gets entrapped between two facet bones, and the patient will complain of pain in side flexion and rotation. Then we have a very common condition which is known as cervical spondylosis. People say that उनके गर्दन की हड्डी बढ़ गई है. So that is the formation of osteophytes, abnormal bone growth. And this cervical spondylosis begins with capsular restriction of the facet joints with bony changes. There is flattening of the curve. Then we have cervical injuries that could be because of any fall from the height or from road traffic accident. There can be unstable wedge fracture, interfacet joint location. Then we have extension injuries, axial compression injuries. So this is all in your cervical spine. I hope you understood this session, and if you have any doubts, you can comment in the inbox. And this session is part digital by Digital 2.0, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women University. Thank you.